All right, today we're diving into something that I know can sound a little dry, SQL constraints. But I promise you, these are not just some boring set of rules. Think of them as the essential, frontline bodyguards that are hired to protect your most valuable asset, your data. So let's go meet the security team. So you've set up your table, you've picked all your data types, and you think you're good to go, right? Well, not exactly. Just because a column is, say, set to accept numbers, that doesn't guarantee it's going to accept the right kind of numbers. See, data types, they're really just the first, most basic check. Just look at this. We've got a simple products table, and that price column is a numeric type. So yeah, it will happily accept a price of -999. I mean, the data type check passes, but logically, that's just nonsense, right? You can't have a negative price. And this is the exact moment you realize you need a much tougher layer of security. And that right there is the absolute best way to think about constraints. They are your database's personal security detail. They stand at the door, they check every single piece of data's ID, and they make sure nothing shady ever gets past that velvet rope. They're your bodyguards. So let's meet the crew. We're going to start with the first line of defense. These are the guards that handle the most common problems you're going to run into. This is your basic security patrol. First up on patrol, we have the check guard. You can think of this one as that super meticulous inspector, the one with the clipboard checking every little detail against a very specific list of rules. The check guard's whole job is to run a simple true or false test. So for our negative price problem, we could just tell the check guard, hey, only allow a price if that price is greater than 0. If that statement is true, the data's in. If it's false, access denied. It really is that simple and incredibly powerful. Next up, let's meet a guard you are going to see everywhere. This one is, you could argue, the most important and most common member of the whole team, the NOT NULL guard. This guard has one job, and it is an absolutely critical one. It makes sure a column is never left empty. I mean, think about it. What good is a user in your database without an email address? Or an order without a customer ID? The NOT NULL guard makes sure that the most essential information is always there. No excuses. And here's a huge pro tip for you. You should probably be using NOT NULL on most of your columns. You should only allow an empty or null value when no value is actually a deliberate and meaningful piece of information for you, not just because a field was forgotten. All right, rounding out our basic patrol, we have the unique guard. Its entire mission is to prevent total chaos by making sure there are no imposters or weird duplicates running around in your data. And yeah, just like its name suggests, this guard stops duplicates in their tracks. It patrols a column and makes sure every single value is one of a kind. This is absolutely perfect for things like user emails or unique product codes, where having two of the same would just break everything. Now, here's one of the coolest parts about this particular guard. It doesn't just protect your data, it actually makes your database faster. When you add a unique constraint, you automatically get something called a B-tree index, which seriously speeds up how fast you can find data in that column. It's a security guard that moonlights as a performance coach. Okay, so we've got a guard that stops duplicates and another one that stops empty values. But what if you need both? What if one guard could combine those two awesome powers into one? Well, of course there is. It's time to bring in the boss. It's time to meet the head of security, the ultimate identifier for every single piece of your data. This is the primary key. And really, it's just a combination of our last two guards. It bundles unique and NOT NULL together. So every single value in a primary key column has to be unique, and it can never, ever be empty. This gives every row in your table a perfect, unmistakable fingerprint. And because it's the ultimate identifier, there's a very strict rule. A table can have one and only one primary key. You can only have one head of security, right? And it's that exclusivity that makes it so trustworthy. So far, our guards have all been focused on protecting a single table. But data almost never lives all by itself. It's all connected. So let's meet the guard that manages all those connections, the diplomatic liaison of our security team. And this is the foreign key. Its whole job is to look at a value in one table and make sure a matching value actually exists in another table. So, for example, if you have an orders table, the foreign key can guarantee that every single product ID in that table actually points to a real product in your products table.
It prevents what we call orphans data and keeps all your relationships legit. But that brings up a really important question. What should our diplomatic liaison do if, say, someone deletes a product from the products table? Should it block the delete? Should it delete all the orders that are linked to it? It's got to have a protocol to follow.
And it has several. If you choose restrict, the guard just blocks the deletion. It says, nope, you can't delete this product, it still has orders. With Cascade, the guard takes a more aggressive approach. Deleting the product automatically deletes all the orders that were associated with it. Poof. And with set null, it just quietly severs the link. It sets the product on the order to empty. The great thing is, you get to choose the protocol that makes the most sense for your data. All right, we've met the whole team now, from the basic patrol on the ground all the way up to the head of security and our diplomatic liaison. So let's get everyone together for one final review. Okay, let's put it all together in a final cheat sheet. The check guard enforces any rule you can think of, but it will let nulls sneak past. Not null is super simple, no empty values, ever. Unique stops duplicates, but interestingly, it does allow multiple nulls. Primary key is the all-star, combining unique and not null, and just like unique, it hooks you up with that free B-tree index. And finally, the foreign key keeps your table relationships clean, but it doesn't create an index on its own. And that's our team. You see, these constraints aren't just an afterthought. They're a fundamental part of designing databases that are robust, reliable, and secure. They're your team. So the real question you have to ask yourself next time you're building a table is, who are you putting on your security detail?